Alright, okay then, seems like it will be an all pick cause banning phase seems to have been remade. So yeah. Bunch of fast picks. But let's go over the once again let's go over the lineups for both teams. On the Legion side, playing for Neolution Esports, the lineup will be that of Bombardier, Andromeda, Behemoth, Clanks, and Keeper of the Forest. Few things to take note of here. Keeper of the Forest, obviously a jungler that likes to have his presence in the jungle be more pronounced. He likes to take his time to farm out just a little bit more, get that portal key, get the astrolabe, the mana boots, and maybe even you know the refresher orb in the later game. And yeah, and that does it is counterintuitive in terms of trying to synergize with that Clanks, because Clanks is a hero that loves to transition into that jungle as soon as possible, gets his Thunderclaw, farms more on lane, pushes it out, takes a tower, and then just gets right into that jungle to try to maintain that GPM and boost it up even more. So interesting to see how Neolution Esports will balance that the farm out here between that Clanks and the Keeper of the Forest. And yeah, besides that, actually great teamfight potential here, because Keeper of the Forest, as we all know, with that ultimate root of his, does disarm opponents and stun them for the first second. So the disarm will be very useful for our Clanks, giving him a lot of free space within those teamfights to weave around opponents and get pot shots off on them. And Andromeda pick here, very defensive here to help out that Clanks. Can be an offensive support as well. What's it called in Han? The Void Rib, excuse me. Gonna be a very useful tool for saving the Clanks when he needs to be built out. And yeah, aside from that, we actually have a lot of powerful initiation as well here. We have Bombardier and Behemoth. Behemoth, of course, better for counter initiation than initiation, but Bombardier being a very strong solo hero here with his Sticky Bomb, great for a portal key Sticky Bomb long stun on a single enemy or a group of enemies. So yeah, lots of strength coming out from this lineup here in the laning phase, especially because early on a lot of these heroes boast a lot of magic damage, especially looking at Keeper, looking at Behemoth, and looking at Bombardier especially. On the lineup of the Hellborn side, we have a Cersei, Artesia, Pebbles, Silhouette, and Magmus here. So a lineup that seems to want to transition into their power spike later in towards the game. Looking at these heroes that are more that do need a little bit more farm to get more active on the map, I suppose. Pebbles does want his portal key early on, definitely, to be able to get to gank out and roam, but it doesn't seem like this team in general has too strong a lineup in the earlier stages as compared to Neolution's lineup here. So they're probably gonna want to get a lot more farm on that Pebbles and that Silhouette as well. Gonna prioritize their farm in lane. Surprised they don't go for a tri-lane here on top to prioritize that Silhouette's farm, but they're probably expecting a solo Suicide Behemoth anyways, and that will seem to be the case. So she should have free domain off that lane here. And yeah, we see that actually Artesia will be on that bottom lane to try to help out that Magmus and maybe try to annoy that Keeper of the Forest within his jungle to try to stop his farm just a little bit here. And yeah, as far as we can see here, Cersei being a very meta support here in the current pro scene of at least Southeast Asia here. Thai teams love to pick her up for the excellent synergy she has with most late game carries. Especially, of course, the illusions work especially well with carries that like to scale based on stats rather than pure damage. Because the illusions, they get stronger and they hit harder based on a hero's stats, as in agility, intelligence, and strength, respectively. So, for Silhouette's case, while she is a hero that on occasion likes to go for hard-hitting attack damage items like Savage Mace and Shield Breaker, but she does scale pretty well with Wingbow, and considering that she does like to, and she does have to go for that Nullstone as a core item anyway, will synergize pretty well with that Cersei here. And yeah, for the most part, Hellborn would probably like to see their line up win in the laning phase. That will allow them to go toe-to-toe with this Legion lineup here. But yeah, for the most part, their hopes right within that within that time frame of the slightly later game here. I'd expect towards that 30, 40, 50 minute window when Cersei Illusions will really shine with the power of a core silhouette. So Cersei will be allocated towards that mid lane here to help Pebbles secure his farm against the Bombardier. Of course, Bombardier being an excellent laner here. Cersei doing her best to box out that Bombardier, but getting punished heavily here, already on half health. Meanwhile, bottom lane will be a 2v2 here. Clanks and that Andromeda once again to help him out and bail him out, but actually allowing him to go pretty aggressive here on this Magmus Artesia lineup. Silhouette actually taking a fair amount of beating from that Behemoth here. 5, 6, 7, 8, spamming out the fissures to lower her health. So still not having as easy a time on lane as she would like, but for the most part still pretty much getting free from here uncontested. Yeah, that actually is a farming Magmus here. Yeah, does want to get his early polar key. Does jump onto the Clanks here. Just immediate stun out on him. Will get slowed by the bang here, but actually falls to the magic missile of the Artesia. Arcane missile, excuse me. 2 levels in Arcane missile with the additional 1 more level in the Arcane Ball. It's actually enough to take that Clanks down and secure first blood for the side of EDMs. So nice play by Zigzag F here on that Magmus to immediately jump on him when he found the opening. Of course, that Andromeda Sakura still too preoccupied with the stacking and pulling off the camp at that point of time to help her carry out. So a little bit unfortunate there, but good decision making to instinctively just jump on him there by Hellborn's side. And this is gonna be, it's actually really gonna be a test of how good Clanks is in the early laning stages here after the nerf to his Hawk, because Hawk now doesn't give him additional move speed at level 1 and also requires 1 less hit, only has 3 charges to protect against enemy, hero and player control unit hits before he loses that all-terrain walking. And as well as that nerf to his ultimate, 50 extra mana cost on all levels, so gonna hinder his immediate level 6 farm on cap. So yeah, interesting to see how Hellborn's side will have to try to work around these extra advantages they've been given in terms of the changes to try and suppress that Clanks and his farm to prevent him from becoming that monster that he can still very well be in the late game stage. Of course, while we do have that Silhouette being very, very strong in the late game here, it's still hard for her to contest that Clanks in terms of 1v1 potential. Of course, that's not counting the strength of that Cersei as well, who will be a huge factor in those stages. Excuse me. And Zlapped on the Keeper here. Let's just take a look at him real quick. Going for that Chalice Ring of the Teacher build. Might try to sit in that jungle a little bit more. Does already have his level 6. Could rotate onto bottom lane to help gank, but a ward will be able to spot him out if he does so. Actually just a Revelation ward here. So if he went in by this little lane route over here, should be able to find that Magnus. Magnus does not have any mana left for another Lava Surge, but 2 charges of mana battery still will not be enough, but will bring him fairly close. For now, seems like he just wants to sit and farm here. Already having that Blood Chalice probably won't go for the mana boots. Maybe Striders into an Astrolabe, or perhaps even a straight Portal Key. Meanwhile, Bombardier here actually suffering quite a bit on that middle lane. We were talking about how that Cersei could barely box him out without taking a hell of a lot of a beating to herself when trying to contest him, but actually will successfully box him out here. Pebbles still on level 4, but that's to be expected when you're splitting lane XP on middle. But for the most part, Cersei doing a fairly good job of boxing Bombardier out. Does already have his bottle, of course, but with he's actually 250-ish gold off behind that Pebbles here, and more perhaps. Pebbles already has his boots, but Bombardier doesn't seem to have his yet, so gonna be a little bit delayed in terms of that ganking potential from him. And pause taking a while. Let's see if we can skip past that. Oh, perfect. Seems like we will unpause pretty soon.
Let's get it on.
Alright, we are back into the game. Yeah. Andromeda here, not able to get any stacks off really. Keeper of the Forest killing them off way too quickly. But for now, Clanks will be unable to farm the jungle for the most part anyway. Does go for that to farm up that pool camp. Actually misses that one, Wild Hunter. But gonna be fine for now. Misses the Self Hunter as well. A little bit awkward here for Clanks. But Artesia drops a Word of Revelation here to try to de-ward any wards here. I don't think she did. But on one side, they know that they can wrap into this jungle here to gank up the Keeper of the Forest, or just jump behind that tier 1 tower to find the Clanks again. And it looks like they are thinking about it. Artesia might go deep here. If she places a ward down, wouldn't be able to spot Clanks here, who's sitting at the pretty much outside of the map in that little water area there. So gonna be fine for now. Still abusing the strength of that all-terrain walking. The Keeper of the Forest TP will be spotted out by the Cersei illusion. Goes right onto that bottom lane. Does not invis himself up just yet. Word of Revelation over there has expired, so might be able to go for a gank, but doesn't spot Magnus and Artesia going for that rune here on that low ground. Actually, Andromeda may have spotted them out there. Didn't seem like he had the vision in this area, but yeah, definitely spotted them out. Pings it out for Andromeda, and Andromeda does dodge that 2-man movement. But yeah, Pebbles actually going for the Steam Boots here as a first item pickup. Might kind of strange. Oh, Keeper actually goes for the root onto 2, catches both Artesia and Magnus. Artesia will be the one to fall here. Magnus a little bit too far out of reach for the for this 3-man movement on that bottom lane to catch. So we'll be fine for now. Might try to go in to stun if there are any teammates, but no one to help him out. Poor Magnus isolated on that bottom lane here. Tries to hold off the push against that tier 1 tower by himself, but all the little saplings will deny that. Won't be able to protect against this at all. And the nice little steam bath does disjoint that stun from Andromeda, and actually gets the ultimate off onto the Andromeda. A free kill for Magnus. Gets blocked out by the saplings here, trying to run away. One more slow, will dodge that as well. Nice movements from the Magnus here. Dodges a third, and he will be able to get out. Just a smart play coming out from this Magnus here. good disjoint and immediately goes on the Andromeda for a free kill basically. Had to work for his escape and does make it out alive, so well played by him. Meanwhile, top lane, Hellborn, they're transitioning into a push as well, just using that level 9 silhouette and the illusions from Cersei, actually enough to take that down here. Behemoth knows that he can't go for the defense, will just let it fall. And all around, just a fairly good trade in the favor of the Hellborn side here. Silhouette King rocketed up into the 480 GPM zone here. Gonna be sitting at the top of the GPM charts, with actually both Pebbles and Magmas being the next two highest on the map as well. So Hellborn side looking a little bit dangerous right now. Oh, actually, Behemoth drops another ulti onto that Magmas. Magmas dropping fairly low here on half health. Does get the fissure off on him, and the bomb will finish him off. The first to fall actually was that Pebbles there. Actually got caught out of position in that jungle. So yeah, Pebbles actually went for the steam boots. If he didn't, might have been fairly close to his portal key, but still not quite. So might have been the right decision after all here. He goes back on mid lane, wants to get his farm up. We'll probably go for that immediate portal key afterwards, but yeah, we traditionally as Thai teams, especially even as Pebbles here, they love to go for the Alchemist Bone, so that'll probably come online right after that portal key as well. So yeah, expecting to see that coming out fairly soon here, but it feels like it got delayed a fair bit by those steam boots. But so yeah, that honestly that probably plays into what we were talking about here with the item pickups for this Pebbles, really illustrating how this Hellborn lineup wants to take a little bit longer before they get into that active ganking stage where they take these large team fights. When that Pebbles tries to rotate and gank, wants to take his time because especially heroes like his Silhouette need to ramp up their items in the meantime. Pebbles as well does want his early portal key. That Andromeda kill definitely did help here, sitting on 500 gold. Pebbles actually farming fairly well, fairly close to his portal key already, 500 gold off about, actually 700, but close enough. Keeper of the Forest will get spotted out by that ward. So with Magma will break after all, but yeah, does not try to go on him. I don't think Zlapped is aware of that Magnus being in his jungle. No wards in the jungle except for this one to spot out that general River Rune area. So for now, has to be careful. Clanks on his Vault Stone, but not much else. Sitting on atop an extra 730 gold. Not sure. Is that Clanks' is that gonna be his Thunderclaw? No, it doesn't seem like it's his at all. No. So does not have his Thunderclaw as of yet. 11 minutes in. Seems like his farm has been stunted just a little bit here. So, but Behemoth sitting around that tree line waiting for a team fight. Silhouette Illusion will not spot him out. The camouflage provided by Keeper of the Forest will hide him for now. Behemoth forced to TP back to that tier 2 tower on that top lane to defend against this push coming out from Silhouette and Cersei. Actually, the Illusions, even at this stage of the game, hammering on those towers here, doing so much in terms of pushing. But yeah, it doesn't seem like the stacks will be up and ready for this Clanks here. Only able to take a single camp off that ancient camp, excuse me. The bottom lane, tier 1 tower does get denied by the Andromeda. So Legion side trying to take the game a little bit slower and safer as of now. Doesn't want to really engage in any serious team fights here. Bombardier being stunted on that middle lane, does not have the items that he desperately needs to jump on any enemies and take them down with his team. Does need that portal key, but is rushing for the straight Staff of the Master here. Wants to probably abuse the power of that root in how it's able to come off on all of the little treants here. So probably gonna go for those global ulti snipes on a single hero like Silhouette here, but Silhouette does have her Alchemist Bones, has had it for a while now, using it to farm her Nullstone as soon as she can. And Pebble seems like he has bought his portal key. So would want to ideally group up here since he has that already with the rest of his team. Magmus, or he might want to wait actually. 1400 gold on this Magmus here, fairly close to his own portal key as well. So Hellborn, they are starting to approach a little bit of a power spike. They've been fairly successful in taking down Legion's farm as far as the laning phase went. Meanwhile, Neolution, they take a tower on the top lane, tier 1, but it looks like it will be traded with a middle tier 1 by EDMs here. So Andrew and Bihi TP back to middle to try to defend it. Tries to go for the deny, but will fail. The Hell Cannon actually gets it in the end. MVP over here. The Behemoth does take that creep wave over there. Very close to his own portal key right now. So actually, Zlapped on that Keeper of the Forest does go for that straight. Alchemist Bones wants to ramp up his farm ASAP as well. Greedier build for him, but I guess considering that the little animated trees can be used as little proxies for his root, it shouldn't matter nearly as much as the portal key for the Behemoth. So 5, 6, 7, 8 looks like he already has his portal key. Legion side, they do have strong counter initiation and against a Hellborn side that seemingly wants to go for the fight right now. So looks like a storm is brewing here on the map. Artesia barely has any items of her own, is the position to support right now. As opposed to that, Cersei does have her Blood Chalice here. Might be trying to go for an Alchemist Bones as well. We've seen a bunch of Cerseis actually in a bunch of competitive games get that Alchemist Bones for to ramp up her farm, to try to get a major item like a Storm Spirit to help protect her carry as well. Meanwhile, Keeper on this top lane, Fearless actually fighting out against the Silhouette Illusions, not afraid of any jumps here. Knows that Pebbles is on that middle lane, so does feel a little bit more safe, but Magmus and Artesia both sitting by the tree lines on the sides of this middle lane here. If anyone tries to go on that Pebbles, they will meet an untimely end here. And oh, seems like Behemoth wants to go on him really bad. Will jump on that creep wave with the ultimate here. The ulti from Bombardier will finish off Pebbles before he can do anything about it. And the ulti from Magmus comes out, bailed out by the Andromeda, but stolen completely. Behemoth's entire skill set will be by that Cersei. Andromeda now on the run. Sakura trying to run up to the high ground, but will get caught by that arcane missile. And a 2-for-1 trade. Actually favoring the side of EDMs, but it will be a kill on the core Pebbles here. Doesn't seem like 5, 6, 7, 8 really had any gold to his name anyway when he died. So seems like a fairly even fight, all things considered. Shame that the Pebbles did fall, and it seems like he is going straight for that Alchemist Bones. So yeah, gonna be fine for him as well, but unfortunate death to slow down his GPM just a little bit. And Zlapped actually does have his portal key. Keep out the force with a portal key. Now gonna be extremely scary here. Doesn't seem like the root was committed at all in that previous fight. Wasn't necessary. Animated trees weren't brought to that middle lane to help out, and they weren't needed at all. So still gonna be a huge factor in these fights now, especially now that he's level 11 as well. We'll have that level 2 root. 125 magic DPS for an extra second of root, I believe. Does pot both of those Hellborn heroes out. That is a fake Silhouette here, so does not want to go on any of them. None of his teammates are around at all. Pebbles already has his Alchemist Bones here. starts farming out that camp. Does get lucky with the vagabonds here. But all things considered, Zlapped in a better monetary position than the Pebbles, because he went for that Alchemist Bones before his portal key. The Pebbles hasn't been able to get much out of that early portal key buy here. No pickups for him together with his team. Magnus will steal that Invis rune. Clanks has to back off here. Will die if he overextends himself. Well, actually, no. Magnus has no teammates of his own here to help him out. But will move towards that bottom lane to try to scout it out. No real teammates to speak of. They're all sitting inside that jungle trying to farm it up desperately. Now, yeah, Silhouette, if she manages to get her items off here early on, will be a major threat for this Legion lineup. And actually goes for a straight Firebrand. Doesn't go for... Oh. Meanwhile, Behemoth jumps right on the head of that Silhouette, takes her down with the Global Bombardier ulti. And yeah, will get his form stolen by the Twisted Visage of that Cersei, who simply commits it to a creep wave here. Very valuable pick off on that Silhouette. Actually manages to spot her out here, the real one as well, and not an illusion. Andromeda does swap out her Clanks in the midst of being comboed out by that Pebbles. The ulti from the Magma's Eruption will miss, gets interrupted, and a root comes out onto 3. 2 will fall for now. Pebbles, Magma's on the run. Will get healed out by those arcane missiles, but for how long? One more right click will do it, and the bombardment will be able to take that kill as well. So 2 kills to Bombardier and 1 kill to Clanks as well. So Clanks are making a bit of a recovery in this game. Top of the GPM charts in his team, but still nowhere near Silhouette really. Still about 100 GPM off. And that Silhouette, despite that death, is still farming like a monster in her own jungle here. The wards are out to protect her within the safety of that area, but yeah, Legion's side doesn't seem like they went for any aggressive wards at all. In fact, only a single one on that middle lane, but seems like they just want to farm within their own jungle as well. So might be a war of attrition between this Clanks and the Silhouette. But yeah, it really does seem like that Silhouette wants to contest that Clanks in the late game here. Goes for the straight Firebrand, doesn't even consider the portal key. So, interesting build up from her here. Doesn't seem like she really wants to join those middle game team fights right now at all. Which is actually as we've seen with a lot of Silhouettes recently, they all do like to take their time in the jungle and farm it up and just be, you know, absolutely greedy while the rest of their team fights it out. So, oh, actually gonna get caught out by the Behe ulti again. Bombardier ulti catches her off once again. And I believe that was the 3rd death in a row. Was it? No, 2nd. She's only died twice. 2nd death in a row where we've seen her get caught out like this. Behemoth just very smart smoke rotation onto that top lane, finds her, immediately jumps on top of her head, knows that she'll be farming the jungle here, and yeah, a quick pick off spells her death. But it seems like, yeah, both of these kills went to Bombardier as well, so we will have a really rich Bombardier here. Does have his post haste on top of that Staff of the Master, which enabled those ganks anyway. But, not much else, honestly. Goes for the Steam Staff. Looks like he wants to build into an Arcana, I believe. Maybe a maybe even the Health Flower or a what's that item I'm thinking of? Oh yeah, Spell Shards. So for now, Spell Shards, who would Spell Shards be useful against? Artesia, I suppose. Yeah, probably wants to silence up the Artesia, but Artesia has been sitting behind the rest of her team, has been weaving in and around the vision range of this Legion site when the team fights have been going on fairly well. So interesting to see how he'll try to catch her out. Oh, Hellborn side, they do go for a smoke play here. Andromeda moving to that low ground does break the smoke, but Pebbles is wary of the rest of her team possibly being behind her. Actually, they were miles away, pretty much, but as far as that little skirmish went, could have totally bursted her down before she could do anything about it. Bombardier was too far away for the swap out as well, but yeah, Hellborn side will leave it at that. They still are a little bit too concerned of the pretty much global map presence that this Legion side boasts right now. Yeah, Silhouette very greedy. Does take the ancient camp, tries to is transitioning towards that that bottom crew wave. Actually does not go for that jungle to try to suppress the Clanks' farm. Is gonna want to play a little bit more carefully here, but although she doesn't have vision here, and of course she doesn't know this, only we do, but all of that Legion side is on that top lane, so she does have free domain of this jungle for now, and yeah, indeed, she will go towards those stacks. Or actually just single camps here, no stacks at all. And actually what we're seeing here is a much more active Clanks than we're used to seeing. Has a Firebrand and a Shrunken, of course pretty general items for any Clanks, but seems like he's been pretty active in these movements here. Although for the most part, all the action came from that Behe Bombardier combo to blow up that Silhouette. But for now, it seems like he will be moving with his team. Does not focus too much on his farm.
Not cool, bro.
And yeah, Legion side, they get the deny on that tier 2 tower. Behemoth will smoke up, tries to wrap around and find any exit kills here, but doesn't seem like he will be able to do so. Cersei Illusions will spot out the Clanks and the Andromeda within the jungle, and as we say that, Clanks actually does try to go back into his jungle to farm, but will have some of his camps denied. But the combo once again actually catches off Zigzag F here, the Magmas. Not nearly as valuable a pickup as that Silhouette, but did interrupt his BKB that we can see him going for here. Is trying to go for it fairly soon, so that will slow him down a fair bit and make him less of a factor in those team fights. Pretty much as far as these team fights can go right now, all he is a single eruption and then a lava surge, so no continuous sustained stuns throughout a long lifespan of that team fight for him, unfortunately. The Legion side, they go with the Keeper push here. Treants being very strong, do take down that tier 2 tower. But yeah, and just a quick objective take here for this Legion side before transitioning back into the jungle. Clanks now actually does have that free space to farm up after losing that tier 2 on that bottom lane. Actually, yeah, this spells the end of all the outer tier towers for this Hellborn side. So Legion side, should they choose to do so, they could very well secure that that Hellborn jungle and deny the farm of that Silhouette. Clanks does go for the Frostburn here, doesn't go for a straight Geometer's Bane as we're used to seeing actually. So interesting to see how he will fare with that Frostburn instead. Maybe he will split that up into a Frostwolf and a Geometer's Bane eventually, but for now, interesting pickup here. Seems like he feels he needs more of that slow onto enemies as well as a little bit more survivability in those fights. Although it doesn't really seem like he's being focused right now. As well as that BKB in his inventory, gonna be able to keep him alive. And once again, the cheese track combo does pick off that Pebbles halfway across the map from where most of the team actually is. So honestly, Hellborn side, if they keep playing passively the way they are right now, if they keep trying to just, you know, safely farm on lane one hero at a time and take their jungle, they're gonna get picked off by this Legion side that's simply gonna snowball and run all over them here. And actually Bombardier goes for a straight refresher, or we forgot that item completely in our calculation, so we'll have that Napalm Strike on him twice as often now. Looking to really abuse that combo here with his fellow Behemoth teammate. And meanwhile, it seems like Keeper is going for his Refresher Orb as well here. He does PK away from his own career. Come on, let us see. What do you have? Is it already a fully completed Refresher? And it is gonna be just that. So, huge teamfight potential coming out for this Legion side right now. Hellborn side, they have to be very careful of how they move. Any careless initiation will spell pretty much a 5-man wipe if they all try to jump on a single hero here. Silhouette actually gets caught out here by the root this time. No way of getting a swap out with her illusion as well. So gonna get bursted down right there and then, and the most important core for this Hellborn side pretty much already taken out. Honestly, they should really just double back to the safety of their base. Zlapped peeking in so aggressively to try to get a pick, and yeah, Behemoth invisible as well does have that rune effect on him. We'll move towards that bottom lane where the Pebbles is, but Pebbles should get a TP out on that tree line here. Magmus with a smoke on himself will not pop it. Invis Behemoth will not pop it, so gonna be fine for now. Let us see the little treant. Tries to use it to scout out, does only spot Artesia, maybe the Pebbles here. But Magmus really trying to look for a grab here. Actually, Legion side are inside the Kong pit here. Clanks should be a quick Kong for him here, completely uncontested, and yeah, does pick that up. The Magmus forced to build out here, unable to find a pick off, unfortunately. Meanwhile, Magmus inching ever closer to his BKB right now. Of course, in spite of the BKB, even if he does get a BKB, gonna have to worry about this Clanks pretty soon here. Seems like he's just bought out another big item. Not too sure what it is. Could be a full Dawnbringer at this rate, to be honest. Gonna allow him a lot of space within those team fights. Actually, honestly, Dawnbringer is a pretty decent item here to help him out move around those team fights. But actually, no, goes for the Shroud. So once again, yeah, another item that's gonna help him position himself in those team fights to be able to catch out the final moment where Keeper just launches his root so he can go to town on that entire Hellborn team. And the Hellborn side, they do reclaim their jungle and try to secure a little bit more farm for that Silhouette, but can they really afford to play passively here? Legion side, they want to take a fight. They have that token on that Clanks here. About 3.5 minutes remaining. So they might be okay to waste it with the physical position that they're in right now, but they definitely want to use this to take the high ground advantage right now. They'll just strip that away from the Hellborn side, take a line of racks before they go back to farm passively here. I don't know what you guys are talking about. BKBs are BKBs. And forgot to mention that Silhouette does have her Shrunken King bar already. It is a fresh Shrunken King bar, 10 seconds here on her. So gonna be safe for now. Does go for the tries to go for the creep wave, but gonna be fine for now. So yeah, the illusion will reveal that she has that on herself. Looks like Hellborn have to defend against this push here on that top lane. Magmus does already use the Lava Surge on the illusions here. Will stop that push a bit. Legion side, they're still gonna wait for the next creep wave to try to take that tier 3 tower again. So gonna have to be very careful here. I believe the root does go through the Shrunken King bar, I'm not sure. Haven't seen Keeper being played that much. So lava surge with the eruption onto that Clanks, takes him down to about 10% health, but the Behe ulti comes out with the root as well onto 2. The ulti from Bombardier will blow them both up. And the rest of the team desperately trying to keep them alive. Essence projection, double arcane bolt heal will not be able to heal them at all. And actually, the 2 from the Legion side, Bombardier and that Andromeda will fall. But Clanks pops the BKB and goes right on that Magma. Tries to go ham on him, but will not be able to get him so far. Actually gets no kills at all. Trying to go on them, but will force the entire Hellborn lineup back for now. Clanks still wants to try to take that high ground. He jumps in very aggressively, gets the fissure on that Cersei, and the ulti from Bombardier will blow her up again. And once again, really just seeing the power of that that Bombardier in general, actually being able to afford to use that Resto Stone on a support like that. The Silhouette trying to defend the Rex as best she can, but will not be able to do so very successfully. Clanks does take the melee Rex. Range Rex is on half health but wants to build out. Shrouds just in time before he gets stunned and will be fine for now. Hellborn side, they will want to turn up the aggression here. Magma smokes up, but will be alone. Does pick up that rune here, that illusion rune, so it will reveal his position. Bombardier, of course, does have an eye on himself, so killing that illusion off will reveal that. Of course, that eye is gonna pose the biggest threat to just simply Magmus himself. No real other envy mechanics here on this Hellborn side. Oh, of course, there's the Cersei as well. But yeah, I mean, Magmus that Behemoth has been able to jump on her enough to blow her up immediately before she becomes too much of an issue in these fights. And honestly, it's one pretty fat Behemoth here. Does have his portal key and his pulse haste on top of the tablet of command. So yeah, actually Legion side doing pretty well right now. The Keeper of the Forest does have that luminous prism here. Might try to go for a quick Staff of the Master. Staff of the Master. I mean that Hex, that Codra Sheepstick, excuse me. It's a little bit of a weird slip of the brain. Legion side looks like they want to group up on this one lane to try to take that tier 3 tower here. So Hellborn side will think of trying to defend this. They do have all their big ultimates as well. Magmus will have his eruption. Cersei does have that Twisted Visage. Ideally, she definitely wants to get that ulti off on either the Behemoth or the Keeper here. Seems like Keeper's gonna be the better choice. Does counter Clanks a lot better than that Behemoth Shockwave can. Does pop the smoke already, goes for the quick jump in route onto that Silhouette, and all her illusions will start right clicking her down already with the Clanks on the back lines. That Magmus will fall as well. Keeper of the Forest dropping solo but gets a second route off. The ulti from Bombardier completely whiffs, misses all the heroes basically. Was that a stolen one? No, it doesn't seem like it, but Magmus will fall again. That is a dieback from the Magmus, and the wombo combo onto the Clanks will lower him to about half health. But the jump in from the Bombardier stuns the Pebbles and blows up the Artesia. Pebbles on the run right now. Clanks trying to right click down, and the Behemoth ulti will get committed. Shockwave blows him right up. And that's a full 5-man wipe for this Legion side here. Neolution Esports taking that lane of Rex right now on that bottom, and we'll transition into probably another one on the middle as well. This might spell mega creeps here for them, and seems like it definitely will, honestly. And honestly, they could just go for a straight throw, and at this point in time, the game's pretty much over. Yeah, it doesn't seem like they want to concede since the game's so close to just ending anyway. Yeah, that'll be GG. pretty much the power of those resto stones here coming into play, blowing up most of those heroes. Even having one Bombardier ulti with barely matter at all. So yeah, that'll be game here. And victory goes to the side of Neolution Esports.